Thank you for double-clicking your mouse tonight. You're listening to the Midnight Frightcast in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Greg, the movie guy. We are coming at you digitally. We are online once again because of this fucking virus. We're coming at you episode number 76. We are back. I am Greg, the movie guy again. Joining me on above me is the doctor of everything else, Patrick.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
To my direct right is Scream Queen herself, Maddie.
Hello.
And up in the corner, the guy who likes to watch, the other guy in the room, is Joshua.
Hey, it's me, Josh, watching. Let's go.
So if you joined us last week, we had kickstarted a feature that we did last year, which was our March Madness feature. This year we're pounding through the best movies of the 2010s. We're going through tourney style, and we've got 2 regions to cover, as well as our semifinals and our finals, and we'll be crowning a champion at the middle of this episode because we still have a feature to talk about. We'll get to that later. So let's jump right in to our regions. We've got our Maddie region next. Maddie, you want to walk us through this?
All right. So the first one that we have up is Train to Busan and Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse. Is that right?
That is right.
Okay. I only put Scout's Guide in there, and I was like, I'll remember what the rest of it is, but turns out I didn't. I've actually never seen either of these movies.
Ooh.
So, Josh, I know you keep telling me to watch Train to Busan, but then you tell me it's got heart in it, and that is my turn off. That is no. So
that's when you go soft?
That is when I go really soft. Which one of these is gorier, guys?
Oh, Scout's Guide is by
Scout's Guide.
Scout's Guide wins for me.
Yeah.
I'll jump in here next. This is a tough one, and damn you, Maddie, for putting these two to get against each other because I absolutely loved both of these movies. Josh has been talking up Train to Busan for the longest time, and I'm kicking myself that it took me as long as it did to pull the trigger on. Just for fun factor, I got to go Scout's Guide because I can watch that anytime, any place. So Scout's Guide for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I dig both the movies. Scout's Guide is a ton of fun. I kind of fell off the zombie genre, that subgenre for a while because it's like nothing really hit, and everything was the same. And then along came Train to Busan, and it the pace was just my pace. It moved just as fast as I kind of wanted it to. I mean, it's never slow. And again, I'm right now with the way like that movie punched me, I go Train to Busan.
Okay.
I remember watching Scout's Guide to the Apocalypse for the first time, and I was actually disappointed because I thought they could have taken it so much further than what they actually did. And Train to Busan, kind of like what Josh said, it hit all those buttons for me. It was the right pace. The zombies were actually pretty fucking cool in this. They were rage zombies, which is my favorite of the zombies. So I will have to pick Train to Busan over Scout's Guide to the Apocalypse.
Ooh, that gives us our first tie and our first matchup and the first thing for today. So,
and like I said, I had already looked up the numbers, so I don't have to take the time to dig into IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes. Train to Busan scored a 7.5 on IMDb, and Scout's Guide to the Apocalypse 6.3, which makes
I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Our winner.
There was no contest in that one.
Yeah. All right, so moving on, we have The Void, and that wins. Let's go.
No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No.
We have The Void versus As Above, So Below. I'm not even going to explain my choice. We all know what
I remember watching The Void a while back, and I remember it ending, and I remember thinking, what the fuck did I just watch? I have a hard time picking it, especially going it up against one of my picks, which was As Above, So Below, one of the better found footage movies that I've ever seen. So my pick is As Above, So Below.
All right, so Greg's getting his ass kicked after COVID-19's over.
Bring it.
Here's the deal. I've seen As Above, So Below multiple times, which is why it would get the edge. But at the same time, I had that same feeling that Greg got. When I watched The Void, I got to the end of The Void, and I was like, what the fuck did I just watch? Like, what is going on right now? And I just didn't get it.
Yeah.
But it's not rewatchable. You know what I mean? I just have not rewatched it. And so I feel like if I did, it might have had a better shot. But because I've seen that other movie, As Above, So Below, multiple times, I'm going to go with that.
Just going to point it out, the first time I watched The Void, I had the exact same reaction. I was like, what the actual fuck is this thing? And then I watched it again, and now I watch it like every time I talk to you guys.
When we watched The Void, did we do that as a feature review, or was that just a watch for the hell of it?
I don't think we did, but
I don't think we ever reviewed it.
No.
I think it should, maybe we should put it on the doc for review then, because if Maddie talks about it every goddamn week, we should probably see what she's talking about.
You know, I haven't picked the movie for 2020 yet, and so I'm going to pick The Void for our next movie. And Maddie's going to run the entire thing.
I'm just going to act the movie out.
Act the movie out. Oh, funny.
Yeah, The Void, shit. We're all going to have to wear cups the next time that we come in live.
I think we're making a very good compromise here, because As Above, So Below is going to move on, but we're going to watch The Void and we're going to review it.
I think that's a pretty good compromise there.
Yeah.
Because I absolutely, and the thing is, I didn't love As Above, So Below the first time that I saw it. It took me reading more about Dante's Inferno and the Circles of Hell in order to really have a true appreciation for As Above, So Below. Pairing the two up, I've got to pick As Above, So Below to move on.
And As Above, So Below is a really good movie. I really like it. The Void. All right. So As Above, So Below moves on, and we have Autopsy of Jane Doe versus Insidious. Why did I line those two up? Who knows? I actually haven't seen Autopsy of Jane Doe. It's on my list, and I am working through my list because what else do I have to do? I'd actually pick that just because I really didn't like Insidious. I thought it was silly. So
Insidious?
It was Insidious. No, it was just some goofy ass movie to me, and it just borrowed from too many other movies. And normally I find that cool, but only if you do it right. So yeah, I'm gonna go Autopsy.
I actually have also not seen Autopsy of Jane Doe. It's one on my list that I wanted to see as well. So by default, I'm gonna pick Insidious just because I have seen it. Yeah,
Insidious. James Wan did Insidious, and I'm a huge fan of James Wan. But Autopsy of Jane Doe had this super crazy atmosphere to it that I just really dug. So I'm going to go with Autopsy of Jane Doe.
I really appreciate both of these movies. And the reason I appreciate Insidious quite a bit is it kind of launched a new style of horror with, James Wan and what he was doing and kind of that look and feel for horror. So I really have an appreciation for that. However, it also gave it more of a Hollywood feel to that movie, which I'm not the biggest fan of. Whereas Autopsy of Jane Doe had more of an indie feel to it, and it was more raw. So between the two, to me, it's a really tough decision, but I think I would have to put Autopsy of Jane Doe on top of Insidious.
Okay.
All right.
That's a 3-on-1.
Yeah, Autopsy moves on. Our next one and the last one in my bracket, this one's really hard. This is Green Room versus Don't Breathe. That is so hard.
That's a tough pairing.
Yeah,
that's really tough.
That sucks. I'm gonna have to go with Don't Breathe, I think, just because the villain in there I had such a hatred for, and I think that's pretty novel for me. I'm normally rooting for the bad guy. So, and it had a little bit more of a horror element to me than Green Room did. Green Room was, they both kind of live in that thriller category, but Don't Breathe kind of had a little more tension to it, so I think I'll go with that one. But that's hard.
These were two movies that I have yet to see. Again, they're on my list to watch. Based on the one that I would watch before the other, I would pull the trigger on Don't Breathe.
Okay.
Yeah, look here, like Patrick Stewart as a villain and all that punk music in Green Room is really tough. Like it's really, really good. But that villain in Don't Breathe is fucking crazy. And it was a whole new take on the villain was like blind, and like this is a really smart movie. So I saw Don't Breathe multiple times, so I'm gonna go with Don't Breathe.
Patrick?
I actually thought this was a really smart pairing that you did of these two movies because they're both thriller horrors. I agree with you, Josh. Patrick Stewart did an excellent job. In this movie, I thought, what's his name? Anton Yelchin?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Greg. He was amazing, and I wish he was still alive and doing great things as well. However, Don't Breathe, the villain in there, especially when it got to the scene with the turkey baster, I just loathed this guy all the way through. I think it is the superior movie in this case. So my choice is Don't Breathe.
I could have gone the rest of today without thinking about that turkey baster.
Oh, well, glad I could help you out with that.
All right, so let's move on to our second round. We have Train to Busan versus As Above, So Below. I'm going to go with As Above, So Below. I like that movie. Doesn't have heart in it.
Just rip the heart out of every movie, man.
Get those emotions out of here.
Oh, I knew this was going to happen. It's tough. It's God.
Use your heart, Greg.
I'm gonna go Train to Busan. I don't know that I have a reason why. I think I'm just going gut instinct at this point because these are two movies that are just awesome movies, and it's tough to choose between.
Yeah, I mean, you've heard my explanations on both and why I like both, but I will keep that train rolling and go with Train to Busan.
Okay.
Yeah, tough choice on this one.
Right?
I appreciate these movies for so many different reasons. To tell you the truth, it doesn't matter which one I pick. Train to Busan's going to go on because, Maddie, you picked As Above, So Below, right, Maddie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
you did? I thought Greg picked that.
No, he picked Train.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so my pick actually would have been As Above, So Below, which ended up in a tie. And our point scales there is As Above, So Below scored a 6.2 on IMDb, and Train to Busan, pretty high, 7.5.
So Train moves on. All right, now we have Autopsy of Jane Doe versus Don't Breathe. And that's hard for me because I haven't seen Autopsy of Jane Doe. But I'm going to pick it anyway over Don't Breathe. Just because I like the concept of it more, and because I really do need to watch it, and I think I'm really going to enjoy it. So I'm going to go with Autopsy of Jane Doe over Don't Breathe.
It is on Netflix, Maddie, as well.
Yeah, I'm just lazy. It's not that I don't have it. I'm just lazy.
Oh, gotcha.
This will be another tough one for me, only because I haven't seen either of them. Just on which one I would watch before the other one, I would pick Don't Breathe. Take that for what you will.
Okay.
Yeah, this is pairing like atmosphere versus atmosphere in like movies because they're both super atmospheric movies. But like the one that makes you like sit there and kind of squirm a little bit is Autopsy of Jane Doe. And although the turkey baster doesn't show up in that movie, I squirmed a little bit more for the autopsy. So I'm going to go with Autopsy of Jane Doe.
Okay.
Yeah, like Josh said, these are atmosphere movies. But when it comes down to pure horror or what I relate to horror, Autopsy of Jane Doe went into the paranormal, which to me is more of a definition for me personally than what Don't Breathe is. I already said that Don't Breathe is more of a thriller horror. I would pick Autopsy of Jane Doe over Don't Breathe.
Okay. So now what do we have? We have Autopsy of Jane Doe versus Train to Busan.
This is so
I think we know what's going to win.
I know it's going to win, but I'm going to go ahead and vote for Autopsy. Just as I said, don't want none of your emotions in my horror movie. Keep your shit to yourself. Keep your turkey basters to yourself.
Train to Busan for me. I haven't seen Autopsy of Jane Doe, and I think I'd still pick Train to Busan anyways.
It's really tougher than you think. I mean, like, it's not an easy choice. I mean, they're two completely different movies, and you watch them at two completely different, like, just kind of depending on how you feel at the time. But, like, sometimes I like my movies to have a little bit of speed in them, so I'm going to go with Train to Busan.
Okay.
We're in a similar situation that we were with the last coupling here, because I'm going to throw in the tying vote. For me, it's Autopsy of Jane Doe, which gives us 2 for Train to Busan, 2 for Autopsy. Dropping it down to the IMDb rating scores, Autopsy of Jane Doe, 6.8. And as I said, Train to Busan, the high, 7.5.
So Train is our winner for my bracket. So Greg, let's move on to yours.
All right, on to the suckiest region of all 4 of them, because these are paired. Maddie, you suck.
These are difficult choices here.
Yeah, these are going to be tough.
Greg, out of your bracket, I've only seen 3 of these, so this is going to be really hard for me because I have no idea what any of these are.
It doesn't help if you've seen them at all.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump right into this here. So our first pairing, our first matchup in our tourney in the Greg bracket is Your Next versus Us. And for me, I have not had a chance to see Your Next yet, so I'm taking Us by default.
Okay. Which one's gorier?
You're Next by far.
And that's my pick.
Have you not seen either of these, Maddie?
No, I haven't seen either of them.
Okay.
Which one is Your Next?
I mean, I can sit here and kind of explain it, but, like, it's a family that basically gets together for a holiday, and it's basically a what do you call it? Kind of like The Strangers, kind of like that type feel.
Oh, okay. I know what movie this is now.
But yeah, it's super gory though.
Okay.
So there's a lot of good spots in there. So yeah, like Jordan Peele hit really hard with Us, but I like Get Out better. So just for that sake, I'm going to go with Your Next.
Okay.
Looks like I'm the odd man out on this one. I just thought, and I've said this before on the podcast, I thought Us was much better than Get Out. I just thought it was a better commentary on the state of America and the government, and I just thought it had more horror elements than what Get Out had, and I would put that over Your Next just because of the intelligence of the film itself.
So we have a tie.
Oh, we do have a tie. You picked?
Yeah.
Oh.
I picked Us.
I thought you had picked Your Next.
I've never seen Your Next, so.
All right. Well, Your Next scored a 6.5 on IMDb, and Us scored a 6.9.
Ooh.
Oh, that's low for that
I
movie.
thought it was really low for Us.
Yeah, I thought Us would kill Your Next in that.
Patrick, you said 6.1 for Your Next, 6.9 for Us?
6.5 for Your Next, 6.9 for Us. So, I mean, they were relatively close in scores on IMDb.
Yeah.
All right, so Us moves on into our next bracket, or our next pairing.
I know which one Greg's going to pick.
God, do you?
It's tough, but I think I know which one.
I know it is. Tucker and Dale versus Evil versus Cabin in the Woods. This is insanely difficult because you got Cabin in the Woods, which gives you almost everything you could ever want out of a horror movie, versus Tucker and Dale versus Evil, which gives you the best horror comedy that I've seen in so long. I got to go Tucker and Dale. I have to.
Patrick, is that what you thought?
Oh, yeah, that's what I figured he'd pick.
I'm surprised he even thought about it, to be honest with you.
It's been a while since I've seen Cabin in the Woods, actually.
And I know that Tucker and Dale's an annual rewatch for you.
It's a Halloween favorite.
Yeah.
Halloween favorite.
I actually just rewatched Cabin in the Woods, and I'm going to have to give it to that one because not only does it have great value Pinhead in it, it has Chris Hemsworth's beautiful abs. So, sorry. I'm going to pick with my ovaries on this one, and we're going to go with Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah, I mean, to me, they're both horror. I would consider both those horror comedies, really. Tucker and Dale, again, super fun. A lot of really cool deaths in that movie. but I fucking dare you to find an ending more fun than Cabin in the Woods. So I'm going to go with Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah, I think I've got to vote with Maddie's ovaries on this one as well. I love Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Don't get me wrong, but it is more of a comedy between the two of these. Like if I were to rank it, which one's funnier, Tucker and Dale, that one's more of a comedy than a horror. If you compare the two together, yes, Cabin in the Woods does have its comedic elements to it, but it still is more of a horror movie. So I'm going to go with Cabin in the Woods.
And I'm not upset by that at all. Not at all.
This is a really tough section.
It deserves to go for it. Exactly what you said, Patrick. Tucker and Dale is definitely more comedy horror than it is horror comedy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think that's why Cabin deserves to move on. So perfectly cool with that. All right. Our next one, another sucky one, is Ready or Not versus Get Out.
Oh my God. That's so tough.
Can I quit right now? I kind of want to throw in the towel. I don't want to pick anymore. As difficult as this one is, I lean towards Ready or Not for the fact that it is a horror movie by definition. Get Out kind of toes the line between horror and thriller, and while it is an absolutely fantastic film, I feel like Ready or Not is just an incredible horror movie. So Ready or Not for me.
Again, I haven't seen either of these, but I'm going to have to go with Ready or Not for two reasons. I don't like social commentary movies at all, and Margot Robbie's just so goddamn pretty. So it's my ovaries picking again. So we're going to go with Ready or Not.
Did you not do the review with us when we watched that? Ready or Not?
No, I think that was the one I was in Arizona, I think, for that one.
Okay, that's fair.
So, yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
I don't think that was Margot Robbie, was it?
It's
Samara
not.
Weaving.
It's
Samara Weaving.
Yes, Margot
Who
Weaving.
look very
Who
much
looks
like-
exactly
Yeah,
like.
her
She looks almost
fucking
exactly
sister.
like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
Margot Robbie
kidding.
Jr.
Yeah, she looks so much like her. Oh my God. Well, that also shows how much I paid attention.
Yeah, for me, again, Ready or Not it was like bloody. It's a super gore, a really smart movie. But I've never sat in a theater with people and felt more uncomfortable than I did with Get Out. So I'm going to go with Get Out.
The horror of Get Out comes from the way that people are treated in that movie and the way assumptions are made, a number of other things. The horror in Ready or Not, again, how people are treated, but there is a lot of blood in this movie. And there's a certain element of paranormal towards the end. I think I would have to put Ready or Not over Get Out, even though I probably love Get Out I probably like Get Out better as a movie per se, but as a horror movie and for the purposes of this, I'm going to have to go with Ready or Not.
I would actually put Ready or Not's ending up against the ending of Cabin in the Woods. So, yeah, both those endings are
we may get that
spectacular.
opportunity.
Yeah.
All right, the last pairing matchup here in the Greg region is A Quiet Place versus Hereditary. And I am actually going to go with Hereditary on this one.
Damn,
I love what John Krasinski did. I love the concept of Quiet Place. For me, the horror of what Hereditary was and the slow burn into what it built up to made that movie what it was. And again, I love The Quiet Place. The creatures kind of killed a little bit for me, and just I feel like Hereditary is the better horror movie and deserves the win on this one.
I hate both of these movies, so this is kind of like, what do I hate less? I'm actually also going to go with Hereditary, just because that woman in The Quiet Place is so fucking stupid that I can't pump her up. No love for you dumb hoes.
Apocalypse Baby.
I too am going to go with Hereditary. I can't think of her name off the top of my head now. The actress in Hereditary.
Toni Collette.
Toni
Collette sold that shit. She was fantastic in that movie. That movie is just weird. And Ollie Alistair, just wrote himself, that dude just, gave himself permission just to, make weird fucking movies from here on out. He could pitch the weirdest shit, and they just be like, yeah, make whatever. And I like The Quiet Place a lot, but I agree with Greg. Those creatures killed that movie for me. So, yeah, I go with Hereditary as well.
So, Quiet Place and Hereditary. Quiet Place, I thought Krasinski did an amazing job with that movie. I'm really looking forward to when the second chapter comes out later this year after things seem to calm down here. However, Hereditary, I knew what was happening in Quiet Place. There wasn't any surprises across the board. Hereditary kept me on my toes the entire way through. I had no idea what was going to happen next, and when it did, it shocked me. I will have to pick Hereditary over A Quiet Place.
Sweep.
Sweep, sweep, and sweep. Cool.
Is that the first sweep?
I think
No. We had a sweep on Don't Breathe versus Green Room.
Okay.
And I don't remember if we had any sweeps last week.
Terrifier.
Terrifier did not sweep.
Did not, because Josh did not pick Terrifier.
He didn't?
Not. No.
Wait, and Terrifier over it?
Oh, wait. Yes, I did pick Terrifier in that group.
Oh,
You're
okay.
right. I did pick Terrifier. Yep.
Maddie's got facts.
I got facts, motherfucker.
You're fact checking.
Well, I've got alternate facts.
Can't lie to us.
Fake facts. All right, let's move on to the Elite Eight of our tourney here. We're going to jump back up. We've got Us versus Cabin in the Wood. Another difficult pick. I'm going to lean towards – I'm struggling on this one for story versus horror content because I feel like Us had the better story, but Cabin in the Woods is, like I said, it gives you everything. I'm going to go Cabin in the Woods.
Gonna follow my ovaries again. Cabin in the Woods.
Fucking Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, that's what I'm really voting for. I don't give a fuck about Cabin in the Woods, but
Next year's tourney will be hottest guys in horror movies.
oh, can we? I think you guys need to bring Lilia Gay out. Just come on.
Nope.
I'm just going with the fact that Jordan Peele deserves to be in this, so I'm going to go with Us.
That's fair. That's a good one.
I will probably regret whatever decision I make. If I choose one, I'll wish I would have chosen the other on either of these. So it probably comes down to just how I feel it represents the horror genre, and I'm going to go with Us.
Ooh.
Because that was an unsettled feeling all the way through the movie. Yeah.
All right, so who wins by IMDb standards?
You know, it's really fucking close. Cabin in the Woods scored a 7.0 and Us 6.9.
Oh my god!
Wow.
I thought that was really low for Us.
That's super low.
Yeah.
Cabin wins.
Wow.
Chris lives to fight another day.
Yep, the abs move on.
Yeah. They should.
All right. Moving along. We have Ready or Not versus Hereditary. Another tough one to choose from because you've got gory, entertaining horror versus pot-boiling, really smart story horror. And in the end, as much as I enjoyed what Hereditary was, Ready or Not is... I'll go back and watch that any day of the week. I'll probably add that into my October have-to-watch traditional movie. So Ready or Not gets my vote.
Ready or Not gets my vote, too, just because I don't like Hereditary.
I'm ready to put these fucking endies against each other, so I'm going to go with Ready or Not.
So my choice is a moot point then, because you guys all went with Ready or Not. And
Well,
I would
your
actually...
reasoning is.
I would actually put Hereditary over Ready or Not, just because it's pure horror to me. Ready or Not it had its elements of comedy. But I think you guys are right in rewatchability. I would watch Ready or Not more than I would watch Hereditary.
And who's got that time?
On that pure horror scale, though, you're right, and I might change my vote. Can I change my vote?
No.
I'm locked in on Ready or Not. Okay.
We haven't.
Just
we haven't declared a winner yet.
Let's see what the tilt is.
I'm gonna go with Hereditary. I changed my mind. Fuck it.
All right.
I can do that. I'm twisting my own arm.
So we are at a tie then between Ready or Not and Hereditary, and Ready or Not scored a 6.8, and Hereditary 7.3. So Maddie is pissed.
Well, my biggest thing is I just don't get the like hype about that movie. Like it's so slow and just obnoxious and just slow and obnoxious, and I don't get it.
Would you say
whatever?
Would you say it's slow and obnoxious?
I did say it's slow and obnoxious.
Are you upset because of the pacing of that movie?
It's just no, I don't know. I just didn't get it. Like, to me, it was a whole Emperor's New Clothes thing where like one person said this movie was good and everyone was like, oh yeah, this movie's great, when you're just staring at some guy's wang. Like, I just don't get that movie. I don't get the hype about it. I don't get why people think it's good. I just think it's slow and just kind of weird for the sake of being weird, and just not my thing. So, which
is fair. I can definitely see where you're coming from. You know, it takes a while to really get into it, and I think that for me was what sold it. Was you had to sit there, and it's not one of those you can turn on and look at your phone really quick and go back and be like, okay, I know what's going on. Kind of like our feature today. Coming back to that, it was one that you really had to focus your attention on, and if you're not in one of those moods, it's a tough film to watch. You know, yeah. I had to physically sit myself down and be like, all right, this is going to be a sit. You're going to focus on this because you have to focus on this. It's like watching Game of Thrones the first time around. You're going to be so damn lost if you're not paying attention. And for some people it works. For some, it doesn't. Like, yeah. I couldn't drop in and just be like, I'm going to go watch her right now. No, I can't do that. I have to be in a particular mood to watch that type of a movie.
Yes, to me it's just kind of pretentious, and I've kind of talked about this before. I don't really like the elevated horror. I like my castle rape adventure. Like, that's all I want. I don't...
Write that down. Write that down, Greg. Castle rape adventure.
Castle rape adventure.
Our new escape room coming from Midnight Night.
Oh.
Oh. Bad taste. Let's move on.
If you bring your own. Well, that takes us to our final matchup for the region, which gives us Cabin in the Woods versus Hereditary. I don't have an explanation for it. I'm going Cabin in the Woods.
Cabin in the Woods. You don't need my explanation. I just gave it to you.
I'm gonna stick with Hereditary.
Okay.
For the same explanation that I used for Cabin in the Woods and Us, I'm going to use for Hereditary and Quiet Place. I'm going to use for this place right here is Hereditary to me is more of a horror film. So I'm gonna throw my hat in for Hereditary. Ties us
on. It ties us, but Hereditary moves on.
Yeah, because it had a higher score.
We never settled our last one, which was 10 Cloverfield Lane versus Terrifier.
No, we were going to do the Final Four and the championship today. So that gives us our Final Four. If you remember from last week, we had 10 Cloverfield Lane coming through Josh's region. We had Terrifier pounding its way through Patrick's region. Need to change that.
Yeah, I was going to say really interesting verb there.
Boy, he was pounding through my region. Wow.
Did he have a hacksaw by chance?
Yeah.
Terrifier winning its way through region. We have Train to Busan in Maddie's region, and Hereditary coming out of Greg's region. So let's jump back over to the semifinals on the other side of the bracket. 10 Cloverfield Lane versus Terrifier. I'll just jump in here since I'm kind of show up. I obviously haven't seen 10 Cloverfield Lane. I'm wanting to. I was actually looking for it yesterday to see if I could find it anywhere. It is not anywhere to be found. I am actually going to go with Terrifier. I think it's, obviously I haven't seen the other one, but Terrifier is just an incredible horror movie.
Yeah, Terrifier is hands down one of my favorite horror movies. So, yeah.
Look, coming into this, I knew what was going to win between these two. So there's no surprises here for me, but I would have picked 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Okay.
I don't think I gave 10 Cloverfield Lane a vote last week on the last podcast. It just didn't do anything for me. I thought it was a nice, intense thriller, but so much as a horror, not so much. When it comes to smarter writing, 10 Cloverfield Lane is probably better than Terrifier. But when it comes to writing, that's not what you're looking for in a movie like Terrifier. when it comes down to just pure horror / dash across the board, I would pick Terrifier over 10 Cloverfield Lane.
I just like my horror. Like, I love Terrifier. So, like, and I know I really, beyond picking it against it, I have not picked it. I fucking love Terrifier. The gore and the kills and all the blood. Like, it's got one of, like, the craziest fucking kills that came out that year. But I also like my horror with a little bit of dialogue. And so Terrifier didn't have any fucking dialogue really in it at all. So once in a while, I just like to hear my characters talk. That's why, and like I said, I'm there for a story. I'm there for writing. So that's why I like and went with 10 Cloverfield Lane. Just because, like, I'm all about gore and blood and guts and stuff. But, like, I don't know, once in a while, I want to hear somebody talk. So that's my piece.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Fair. Just out of curiosity, Patrick, do you have Terrifier pulled up on IMDb at all?
Yes, I do.
What's the rating? Just out of curiosity.
You want to know the point score between the two of them? 10 Cloverfield Lane
had 7.2.
7.2. Terrifier only a 5.6.
Ooh.
Basic hoes, what are you doing out there?
Interesting. All right.
I think it's because it's more of a specific style that it didn't score as high.
Sure.
Yeah.
More of a niche market, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that elevated horror. It's down here with Castle Rape Adventure.
Oh, no, it's well above Castle Rape Adventure.
Well above.
Well
You
above.
know what I meant. Like, it's not one of those, like, elevated horror movies. It's down here.
Correct.
Which I like down there. So.
All right. So jumping back over into our other brackets, we have in our semifinals Train to Busan versus Hereditary. On this one, I am actually going to go with Train to Busan. I don't know that I have a reason for it. That's just my pick.
By default, I guess I'm going to have to pick Train to Busan just because I know I don't like Hereditary.
Train to Busan.
All right, well, I'm going to be the lone defector and pick Hereditary.
And Patrick, just out of curiosity, what was the rating on Train to Busan?
Train to Busan was 7.5, Hereditary 7.3.
It would have won anyways.
Yep.
If we had a tie. Interesting. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a championship. Terrifier versus Train to Busan.
I knew it was going to be these two.
Okay. What's your pick?
Do
we need to ask why?
You gotta say it, Maddie, for it to count.
Yeah, go ahead and say.
Terrifier. No, The Void, actually.
That's what I thought you were going to say.
No, Terrifier and The Void were my two, like, favorite movies of the last decade. Terrifier's great. It's pure horror. It's pure nonsense. That's what I want. That's all I've ever wanted.
All right. Josh, what do you got?
I go all the way with Train to Busan. I've said no movie punched me harder than that movie. So, it's got horror elements in it. It's got gore, and the pace and everything that goes along with it is just fast. It never drags, and like I said, it punched me pretty hard. So, Train to Busan, it is.
Fair enough. Patrick?
These are two movies that I enjoyed so much the first time watching them that I'm really looking forward to the sequels for both of them.
Yeah.
As much as I love me some Art the Clown, I will have to pick Train to Busan over Terrifier. Gregory.
Well, I could give us a tie, or I could put the nail in the coffin. For me, it's Train to Busan. I'm sorry, Maddie. It's an incredible story. Obviously, we love Terrifier. It is an incredible horror movie. Kind of for the same reasons that Josh liked 10 Cloverfield over Terrifier. The story of Train to Busan really was captivating for me. So Train to Busan is my pick, giving us our champion for the 2010 horror movies. Train to Busan, not of Busan. Who is our champion?
Who won last year? What movie won last year? Anybody know?
Halloween was it? Halloween went up against
last year,
right?
Yeah, Halloween won last year, the original.
Gotcha. Okay.
I don't have it. Yeah. Cool. All right. That was our March Madness. Thank you for sitting in and hashing us out. And if you have any opinions, let us know. Let us know how off we are. Let us know how crazy Maddie is for liking Chris Hemsworth abs. Let us know You know,
Oh, she's not crazy for loving Chris Hemsworth abs. Those are some nice abs.
If Patrick's crazy for loving Chris Hemsworth abs. Let's keep the ball rolling here. We're going to go into our feature, God help us, which we watched the movie 95, was it?
1995.
95's Crazy Castle Rape Adventure, otherwise known as Castle Freak. Patrick, do you have the deets?
The deets are Castle Freak 1995, running an hour 30 roughly, now showing free on Tubi TV.
Emphasis on the roughly.
Yeah. Nice. A man struggles to save his family from the strange and deadly occurrences in the castle they've inherited. IMDb rating 5.9. There is no Metacritic score for it, and I assume that's because of its age. Rotten Tomato critic score rating 63. Rotten Tomato audience score rating of 44.
Did Castle Freak score higher than Terrifier? 5.6 to 5.9.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nuts.
Wow. All right. Okay. Maddie, why'd you pick it? Why?
Well, first of all, Stuart Gordon died last week, so wanted to, watch a movie in his memory. And I love Stuart Gordon. I love his style. I think he must have really liked drugs or something, because a lot of his movies just have a really weird, kind of freaky style that I just think is fun. It has that kind of campiness, but it has something kind of extra, I guess. It's just because you have your campy 80s, and then you have weird Stuart Gordon shit that's over here somewhere.
What was his big movie that he did that everybody would know? I feel like
Reanimator.
Okay, Reanimator was it. Okay, yeah, all right. I could not.
So is there a reason we didn't go with Reanimator?
Because Castle Freak. Go on.
that's penalty box talk right there.
Because Maddie is the best fucking troll of all of us, and I feel like she's trolled everybody again.
No, I like this movie. I did not pick it to be an asshole. I genuinely like this movie. It wasn't the Begotten thing where I was well, I know this movie exists, and I'm just being a shithead. I think this movie's fun. I'm guessing no one liked it.
It was rough. I one of my biggest things that I hate doing is watching movies in two sittings. Mm-hmm. And this one I did. I watched half of it yesterday, and I watched the other half this afternoon before our cast. And I don't feel like it took away from the movie at all. I still felt the exact same way that I felt watching it yesterday, except I got to watch an Italian hooker get her tit bitten off, which...
Why is this not great for you guys?
For me, it was 1995. I don't know. I feel like if that movie existed today, it would have been a better movie, because I don't even blame the idea of that movie. I don't know. Here's the deal. I watched 20 minutes of that movie, and then I decided that if I'm going to look at shitty writing, I have some stuff to write myself. So I just sat with my back to the TV and listened to it and looked over my shoulder once in a while and just kind of did my own work. And so I feel like even without watching that movie, I followed along fairly well. I missed the Italian girl getting her tit bit off. I missed that. So I guess I missed something. But, I mean, I didn't get it. I guess I didn't get the point. So
if you watch some of Stuart Gordon's kind of other stuff that's not Reanimator, it kind of all followed along a lot with Castle Freak, where it's weird, low budget. There's just shit going on, and I kind of like that style because, as I've said a million times, I like my horror. I like the keep it simple, stupid method of horror, where you just every once in a while I like to watch something with a plot or something crazy like that. But for the most part, I just kind of want to see a Italian hooker get de-titted. What's wrong with that?
My favorite part of that movie was the Beauty and the Beast fight at the end on the castle. That was my favorite part of that movie, and the fact that they both flew off the top of that thing, I was happy. So I was watching that movie. I was watching that part. I was like, "Is this Beauty and the Beast? What is this shit?"
Right.
So
This movie kind of reminded me of, like, one of my favorite all-time movies is the French version of Beauty and the Beast from the 40s. And, like, this movie kind of had that vibe going on where it's just super strange. And, yeah, I think this movie's fun. I'm not going to defend it because, like, I know he made this movie for, like, $7 and in, like, 20 minutes. So,
and it also went straight to video. So in 1995, that was kind of unheard of, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I could be wrong on that, but I don't remember a lot of movies going straight to video that early.
Yeah, I think it was like maybe later 90s when they started making like the like weird Disney sequels. So that they're like, yeah, let's go straight to video. I don't know, Patrick, can you even see what the budget was on this movie?
Yeah, I could look it up and see if it's possible.
So, Josh, you made an interesting point where if they remade this movie today, you think it would be better. That's what you said, correct?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it would. I'd be curious to see how they'd make that movie today.
And I'm kind of following along that same path where because it was made in the 90s, it followed very, very 90s style filmmaking, which I think really hurt it. Specifically, the whole introduction scene, like straight out of the gate, where we get to see a little bit of the creature right out of it. I think that really, really hurt it. And I think with makeup advancements and CGI advancements and, forgive me, storytelling advancements, I think if this was a movie remade today, it would have been not necessarily better, but it would have been more interesting to watch and would have kept attention a little bit better.
And Maddie, explain it, because again, I watched it with my back turned. Once in a while, I'd look over to see what was going on. Is there any backstory as to why he's in this castle? What was going on with that witch at the beginning? Did I miss all that shit?
Oh.
Yeah, you missed all of it. Yeah, they explain all of this.
Do they?
Yeah.
Oh, do they? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, oops, I guess. Because that was the other thing. I was like, I don't know why, what, and where is what's going on. I guess that's what happens when you don't actually watch the fucking movie. But I felt like I listened fairly closely. I guess missed a few key points to what was going on, and maybe I would have enjoyed it a little more if I was paying attention. I don't know.
Greg, would you have enjoyed it more if he was paying attention?
You weren't the only one, because there was one piece, and I don't know if you guys can answer it for me or if it was just a plot hole, was the connection between the son and I assume the monster grown up guy.
Were they the same person?
No, they weren't.
That's how I was.
I think so.
So there was a scene where he was wandering down and he saw the picture of his son under the guy's name, the son who was the monster, unless I missed something in that.
Because there was a car accident, right? And his son
died.
His son supposedly died, but he goes down into the bowels of the castle and he sees the picture of the son of I may have missed that part at the beginning, of the caretaker of the castle prior to, who is led to believe that that's the monster. Yeah, but they're connecting that the monster is now the guy's son who died like 5 years ago.
Here it says on Wikipedia, John learns that Giorgio is actually his half-brother and that the Duchess was his father's first wife.
Okay.
So that's why his son kind of looked like the picture of Giorgio.
They weren't saying that the monster was the guy's son. It was just it looked like him. That's the only connection.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
See, had I been paying attention, I think I would have liked this movie a hell of a lot more.
Yeah, I did get some budget numbers, and I'm just going to read this. This is actually from Wikipedia, so take it for what it's worth. Gordon made the film for about $500,000. When asked why prompted to make a low-budget film, Gordon responded that it would be his first film since Reanimator that he could release without a rating, that he would be given final cut on the film, and that he had the ability to cast whoever he wanted, stating, "Even though the budget was tiny, I had complete control."
In 1995, is $500,000 like?
It's not a tiny budget.
Movie? It's not that small.
No, that is not a tiny budget.
Yeah. He must, because I've seen a bunch of his kind of like more obscure movies, and I couldn't tell you any names right off the top, but they were all pretty low budget, and I think he had complete control of them because they did kind of have that castle freak feel.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think that's because, like, so did he lose control of Reanimator? Did he not like that movie? And that's why he decided to take it out of everybody else's hands? Or you don't know?
It doesn't say in here. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But yeah, Josh, kind of going back to kind of losing some of the story, I hadn't picked up on the whole half-brother, that the old woman at the beginning was actually the creature's mother and was beating the child as kind of a punishment because the man, her husband, left her and him and went to the States.
Okay. So she's punishing him for that?
Yeah. And I didn't pick up on any of that either.
I've seen this movie quite a few times because obviously it's really mindless. You really don't have to be present to watch it. So I've kind of just mindlessly watched it, and for some reason I think I picked up on it, but I don't know how or why.
I had a really strange deja vu feeling watching this movie, because when it got to certain scenes, I could have sworn that I've seen it before, or at least seen the creature before. The prostitute in the wine cellar scene for some reason, and maybe it's because of all the porn that I've watched. I've seen something similar to it.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, but even the freak.
What porn are you watching?
Yeah, even the freak with the prostitute, with her getting completely, literally eaten up. I remember that from something. So I may have actually seen this movie before. I remember the Beauty and the Beast battle at the end. So I'm really wondering if maybe I had seen this before and just didn't remember it.
Just blocked it out.
And
probably.
Castle Freak was actually in my queue on Tubi TV. So this was in my queue before you even chose to watch it. I was going to watch it on my own. I'm glad I didn't, but I would have watched it on. I had it. So something. The cover drew me to at least put it in my queue. So yeah.
Just a fun fact. I was jumped on IMDb here really quick. The same year that Castle Freak was made was also the same year that Waterworld came out, one of the most expensive movies of that time. So just to give you a frame of reference, Waterworld was made for $175 million. Oh.
Wow.
So that shows you kind of that ratio there, I guess.
Yeah, and since it was filmed in Italy, maybe a lot of his budget was for travel.
Yeah.
That's possible.
Or I don't think you can rent a castle very cheaply.
Well, actually, a friend of his owned it, according to this.
Nice.
Let me see
I
where
need
that
better
was.
friends.
Right, way to call in a favor.
Yeah.
I will give him credit for his resourcefulness.
Yeah, right?
But it also didn't have fucking Kevin Costner in it, which probably cost Waterworld $50 million off the fucking top.
True, but you also filmed in giant bodies of man-made water on boats.
The castle was owned by another director named Charles Band, who was, I guess, a friend of Gordon's. So he was able to shoot in that castle. Okay. So I guess if you have a location and you have an idea, you can make a movie around it.
Yeah.
Oh, weird. There's a weird concept.
It's strange how that happens.
Oh.
Well, is everyone done shitting on this movie, or do we have any more comments?
It's not necessarily shitting on the movie for me. It was just I had trouble having it control my attention. I thought the creature itself was pretty interesting, but it was pretty much a one-note creature. Plus, did he really have any, cash and prizes downstairs? Because when they showed him full, it looked like he just had a Ken mound going on.
I think that was kind of revealed when he was trying to get the hooker to go down on him.
Yeah.
And she grabbed down there and then started screaming, which to me leads me to believe that the twig and berries were not.
Because you don't know the point of mutilation that happened from the mother. So
True.
Yeah. So when, like I said, when it got into the fight up on the top of the castle, and I'm sitting there going, well, Jesus, he's attacking all these women. He'd probably be walking around with a fucking erection or something, and there was just nothing there. So I thought that was kind of weird for the character creation. But of course, 95, would they really show all that much? But if he didn't want a rating, if he didn't care about the rating, he could have done what the hell he wanted to do.
Whatever he wanted.
Right.
Yeah.
As towards performances, I didn't think there were horrible performances except for maybe the mother at the beginning. But I mean, everybody was within character.
It was flat. It was really flat for me.
Yeah, but they weren't horrible. It wasn't bad acting. It was just flat acting.
Yeah, I think the acting reminds me of some other, like, not so great 90s horror movies that I've seen. So I think it's pretty in that realm. So I didn't think it was bad, but you're right, it's pretty.
I think the best actor in this entire thing was the blind daughter.
Yeah.
I was going to say the cat.
The cat.
For the first quarter of the movie before it went, like, scuzzy.
You went funhouse mirrors on everybody.
Right?
Actually, some of the best acting was by the people who played the policemen.
Yeah, I give you that. I would give you that.
And then towards gore or anything else in there was some in there. They said it was probably as goriest since Reanimator. I don't remember Reanimator that much, though, so I can't really judge it. But there was some gore. I mean, especially with the prostitute.
Yeah, with his other movies, I don't remember there being much gore. As I said, I think he focuses more on, like, the strange. He also has done a bunch of, like, Lovecrafty stuff. So, and Lovecraft isn't about gore. He's just about
Weird.
drugs,
Weird.
LSD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Greg, were there any other, like, fun facts on IMDb?
I don't know. I can check really quick.
Well, I've got it up. I can.
You do? Okay.
Let's see.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of the whole redemption story from the husband at the end when he pulled the monster off the side and had the last moment of "I love you" and then he died because he was kind of a skis ball.
Yeah.
Like, he was a skis ball from minute one and he did not change, and I just no.
I was gonna say, yeah, but, like, I don't know. Sometimes the redemption story is a little played out. I kind of just sometimes like seeing characters that are just shit from beginning to end. It's not everybody can change their, like, character in 90 minutes, you know.
And that's kind of typical of that 90s storytelling where you've got we're gonna try and make this guy the hero at the end of this. He's like, no, just fucking no, kill him.
Yeah. Once you bring an Italian hooker home, I think you have
you signed your
match.
You're
Yeah,
done.
you're
are
done.
done, sir.
Okay, here just a few fun facts. The castle in the film is an actual Italian castle owned by the president of Full Moon Pictures, which was the distribution company for the movie.
Oh, that Charlie.
The cast and crew gathered before filming to brainstorm on what they felt was terrifying in a film, and they used these suggestions to add to the direction of the film. The film was blessed by the Vatican for fears of the effect on its viewers.
What?
Well, that's why we didn't think it was scary. The Vatican protected us, and none of us are 13-year-old boys.
We were protected by Catholicism.
Not like physically anyways. They still claim mentally.
Real brain matter was used for the climax of the film.
Oh.
Where did they get that?
I have no idea. It could have been like hog brain matter.
Let's go with that.
Yeah. The prosthetics for the freak took 6 hours to apply each day, and supposedly based slightly on H.P. Lovecraft's short story, The Outsider. So there's just a few fun facts.
Okay.
How do you get the Vatican to bless your movie? Like,
that's where I kind of wonder if that's a true thing. Just because it's on IMDb, it doesn't necessarily mean it's true.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's bless this biddy. We rate our scale on fear and or fun factor, the gore score, and the overall. And would you recommend this to a friend? Are we feeling fear or are we feeling fun today?
Fun. There was no fear.
On the fun factor, Maddie, what do you got?
I'm going to give this movie a 6, 7. It's fun. It is an adventure. It's a rape adventure, but it's an adventure. Yeah. It's an adventure. It's fine.
Josh, what do you got?
I'm going to go with the fun score of 2. That's where I'm sitting on the fun factor with this movie.
I'm going to take your 2 and raise it to a 3 just for the single line. I didn't kill her. I fucked her. Okay? And then the baton to the head.
Right before he gets cracked.
Yeah.
Yeah, writing at its best.
Oh man, I'm gonna give it a 3 on the fun factor for the atmosphere of the castle. I thought that was a really nice setup, really nice atmosphere and location, and the scene with the mother who decided she needed to rip open her shirt to lure the creature away from her blind daughter. 3. On the gore score side, Maddie, what do you got?
Yeah, this movie is not gory. 3? In my world, this movie's not gory. I see you over there, Patrick.
Josh, where are you sitting?
I'm just going to take Maddie's word for it. I'm going to go with a 3.
Patrick?
Just because of the amount of mutilation done to the prostitute more than anything else, because there really wasn't a lot of gore in this movie, but the amount of mutilation that they did, it kind of reminded me of, what was that found footage movie I watched, Maddie, where they cut the woman's nipples off?
Oh, August Underground.
August Underground. So it kind of made me have that feeling watching that, maybe some flashbacks. So I'll bump it up to a 4.
Some PTSD.
Yes.
I'll again follow Patrick's 4. Yeah, the mutilation of the prostitute, the disintegration of the cat, that was a little gory. And
that cat was so fake when he threw it out, though.
Oh yeah, it was, but I'm counting that part. And then the look of the actual creature, when you actually got to see more of what was done to him, I feel like it earns its 4 there. So
yeah, I thought the prosthetics were pretty good.
It was better than some that I've seen, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Lastly, would you overall, and would you recommend to a friend?
I'm gonna sit on like my 6. I mean, I don't think this is a horrible movie. I think this is your typical low budget 90s horror movie. And as I said, I loved Stuart Gordon's style. I did recommend this to my friends, and they didn't like it. What was really funny is I was actually talking with another friend about this movie, and I recommended it. Maybe I should tell him that it was called The Castle Rape Adventure, and we'll see if he still wants to watch it. But
Josh, what do you got?
So just for the Beauty and the Beast fight, I'm going to give it a 4. And I would recommend it to all of my friends that I don't like. So take that for what it's worth.
Why do you have friends you don't like?
I mean, look, I like all my friends. I was just, going with something.
Patrick?
I just had problems with this movie from the beginning. I can see where other people would enjoy it much more than I would, but that doesn't mean I would necessarily recommend it to them. I'll give this a 4 just because I gave last week's movie a 5.
Oh, yeah. Await further instructions.
Yep.
Crazy British alien vagina mutilation scenes. Yeah. I'm actually going to sit on a 3. This could have had potential. Again, I think it was made in the wrong time for what it could have been. I feel like giving it maybe another half a point just for hearing the resourcefulness of what Stuart Gordon, is that correct? Okay. Of what he was able to do to make this movie, which I find more fascinating than the movie itself. But it's got its decent points. I'll probably never watch it again. I doubt I'll recommend it to anybody unless it is under the title Crazy Castle Rape Adventure. So I think 3 is very fair.
Fair enough.
All right. That has been our cast. Does anybody have anything that they would wish to plug?
Just support your local businesses. If you are getting food delivered or for takeout, Nebraska just passed that you can get mixed drinks if they have a lid on them. So enjoy that.
All right. Anybody else?
No, I can just say that if you are a fan of the Frightcast, and we know that you are, make sure that you head on over to whatever platform you're listening to us on and make sure that you rate and review us. You can also find us on all of the social medias. Just make sure that you look for Midnight Frightcast. And then also make sure that you check out our films at midnightfrightfilms.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode number 76, the digital episode of the Midnight Frightcast. We thank you for dropping in and joining. We hope to be back with you sooner rather than later. Doing this whole Zoom thing is kind of cool, actually. I like this a lot better than just calling in. We'll have to do this more as we kind of figure out what the hell our world is doing. So from all of us, stay safe out there. This is Greg, the movie guy, the Dr. Filmonomics, with Scream Queen Maddie, the other guy in the room, Josh, who just went away for some reason. There he is. Hi, Josh. And the doctor of everything else. Again, stay safe out there, stay home, stay well, and we'll catch you on the flippity flip.